So, meine Fans wollten es einfach so. Und jetzt habt ihr es ja. Seems like 4 day 46 pack results and 4 day of eating. 244.3 WS, also was RWS bedeutet, das bedeutet nochmal LWS. Weil LWS bedeutet Pfund. Also, das bedeutet, der ist. Und der Typ ist Bodybuilder und ja, ja, ich habe ja vorgeschlagen, dass ich darauf ehren soll und hier bin ich jetzt. So, jetzt ist los, ich bin gespannt.
All right, a little bit of an impromptu intro. I was gonna start with some clips of the cardio, but I was like, whatever. I woke up kind of late anyway, so cardio done. I already took my little caffeine capsules, but I haven't eaten anything and I haven't taken my vitamins.
Also, nochmal kurz zur Information. Cardio, Englisch, Deutsch, also einfach Cardio, also laut mir das bedeutet das einfach Cardio. Hat so Koffeinkapseln genommen. Ach so, jetzt zeig mir das mal ganz kurz. Also, das sind also Koffeinkapseln, die er so nimmt. Und boah, habt ihr gesehen, wie hier die ganzen. Habt ihr jetzt gerade gesehen, dass. Also, ja, wir fangen jetzt mal an mit dem Video. Viel Spaß. Da waren
So
wir
the
schon.
cardio, but I was like, whatever. I woke up kind of late anyway, so cardio done. I already took my little caffeine capsules, but I haven't eaten anything and I haven't taken my vitamins. So I just got back from my first class. So it's 11:30. I haven't had Jack. I'm fucking starving. So I just put this whole packet of deli turkey meat under these 4 little sandwiches I'm making. I I can't even say cooking up. I'm really just assembling things right now.
Boah, die Seiten.
But
Also, sieht einfach ganz krass aus, das Essen hier.
that's gonna add up to I'll add up all the macros at the end. So mustard and low fat mayonnaise, those are the only other 2 ingredients. I wouldn't mind like some romaine lettuce, but I just don't have any, so whatever. Now, the mustard, there's no fucking calories in it. I could eat the whole thing. Oh, now I'm thinking of people that just eat mustard. So there's no calories in the mustard. And if there are, it's negligible. But in the mayonnaise, if you're not tracking this kind of shit, this will add up quick.
Sind da wirklich keine Kalorien im Senf drin? Also, mh, ich kann aber gerne mal gucken, gucken ganz kurz. Okay. Das Mikrofon verwenden. Zulassen. Zulassen. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Wie viele Kalorien sind in Senf drin?
Ich habe diese Rezepte gefunden.
Senfkalorien. Mit, äh, In Senf sind 66 Kilokalorien drin. Also wenn man jetzt so sagt, Senf hat keine Kalorien, was soll man sagen?
So zero out the scale and then just do a nice little
Sag mal was dazu.
healthy dollop on each of these turkey sandwiches. So that 33 grams total. Serving is 15, so about 2, maybe a little more. 8 grams of fat. All right, so I'll stack these together, put them in a little takeout box, but first let me add up all the macros. So, wie
viel Senf da drauf ist. Also,
8 grams of fat from the mayonnaise. It says 2 of carbs, 1 gram of carb per serving, so that's all plugged in. I just did the whole pack of this, so 8 servings, 8 more grams of fat, 16 more grams of carbs, and protein, 72 grams of protein. I'll trim it down a little because I'm only going to count dedicated protein sources, and I've been hearing a lot of flack about the quality of deli meats just because it's kind of everything ground up together. But I still think this is going to contribute to I'm fucking freaking out right now. Going to contribute to some muscle maintenance. Like the amino acid array in this turkey is still way better than like, a vegan protein powder or like a plant-based protein powder, It just doesn't have the same amount of all your leucines, and I don't know all of them by name, nor have I even looked into it. But there's no need to,
Burger sind aber ganz selten so, selten. Ich finde, man sieht die ganzen Burger sehen da noch ganz so aus.
A vegan protein powder
Da waren wir
or like a
gerade.
plant-based protein powder, It just doesn't have the same amount of all your leucines, and I don't know all of them by name, nor have I even
Guck mal diese ja, die sind voll krass
looked
aus.
into it. But there's no need to, right? Dedicated protein sources, meats, fish, dairy products, eggs, stuff like that. It's hitting the whole freaking, I kind of forget how many amino acids there are that makes up a complete protein, but having all those together is what you freaking want. So that's why I don't count the protein from the buns. Oh yeah, crap, the buns. The buns are 1 gram of fat each, so that makes 4. And then 3 grams of carbs each, so total that makes 12.
Ein Gramm für den Brötchen, okay, das sind Burgerbrötchen. Alles klar.
And then it says 7 grams of protein in each. Dude, that's fucking BS. Come on. I just don't count it. Whether or not that's, it has energy, but honestly, from my perspective, the difference from, I don't know. I don't mess with it. That's how I go about it. This isn't an instructional video. It's more so just a documentary in a sense of just what I do. So check this out. This is pretty cool.
Okay, was kommt jetzt?
So I've been just tediously taking out all my vitamins individually every day. So I took a tip from my grandma, got the pill, a little vitamin. What's the word even for? Scheduler, divider. Yeah, so just do it all at once. I don't meal prep, but I guess I do a multivitamin prep.
Wie nennt man das? Wie nennt man das? Wenn also wegen Tagesbedarfsrechner. Oder irgendwie sowas. Oder bin ich dumm? Aber jetzt schlägt mir das vor. Ich hab mal gut übersetzt. Mal gut übersetzt. So Englisch, Deutsch. Erstens Multivitamine, Vitamin D, Fischöl, Probiotika, Eisen. Alles klar.
So, if I sound a little bit, let's just say frantic, it's because, ooh, I've got a class in 5 minutes. I emailed her, I told her I was going to be late, but whatever. And then this is just a 0-calorie electrolyte packets mixed into the water so I can make sure I stay nice and hydrated. So I guess you'll just have to imagine what it looks like when I eat these. I know they're going to be good, but I'll just eat these 4 in my next class. And then I've got a 2-hour gap before my next one, or before the one after this one. So we just come back to the kitchen, make a little something else, have a little chat about it as well.
Alles klar, das war nur ein Intro. Sowas, mal schauen, was jetzt noch kommt.
All right, class 2 of 3 now done. So I just threw a freaking pound of ground beef into a pot, stirred it up on high heat until it was, all brown, and then mixed in a package of microwavable cheddar cheese. No, cheddar broccoli rice.
Ah,
So,
was kann man da sagen? Also, vom Aufwand her ist das jetzt gerade so eines der Winkel, die man so auf jeden Fall anfangen kann. Also wenn man zwar, man weiß auf jeden Fall, Bodybuilder haben auf jeden Fall einen extrem krassen Körper, das weiß man ja schon. Und das mit dem Essen scheint ja auch ganz zu sein. Mal schauen, was da nach uns zukommen wird.
so I just threw a freaking pound of ground beef into a pot, stirred it up on high heat until it was, all brown, and then mixed in a package of microwavable cheddar cheese.
So. Ja, kurz noch. So, hier gerade.
All right, class 2, high heat until it was nice. So, total macros for this whole bowl, it's like 80 grams of protein. I think about 75 grams of protein. Oh, and then I poured in some hot sauce too, some buffalo. So I think it was about. Actually, I can just pull it up. What am I even thinking about? 75 grams of protein. Looks like we're on 20 grams of fat.
20 Gramm Fett und also alle, die kein Englisch können. Ich weiß nicht, ob das wegen der Sprache bestimmt so einen Anspruch geben wird.
Oh, what am I even thinking about? 75 grams of protein.
75 Gramm Protein, okay.
Looks like we're on 20 grams of fat
20 Gramm Fett.
and then 65 grams of carbs. So once I eat this whole thing, that'll put me at 1370 for the day.
Alles klar.
Now, a whole
75
pound of ground
Gramm.
beef. I'm not going to eat that all at once. I'm gonna snack on this for a while. I've still got to finish some homework for my next class, so I'm going to sit here for a bit, and then I'll probably just bring this with me, scratch at it when I'm in my next class. So
Ah,
I don't really eat in like, for the most part, especially when I'm dieting down. I'm not really eating dedicated meals. It's more so I'm just kind of eating throughout the day, you know? Like, if I'm going to prep something, I'll prep it in kind of a large batch, the equivalent of a couple of meals, and just kind of, pull it out of the fridge, take a couple of bites when I'm hungry, and put it back.
wer macht das jetzt auch so? Wenn man da etwas aus dem Kühlschrank holt und dann wieder so. Und wer macht das auch so?
So, this will probably be the last thing I eat over the course of the next couple hours. And then, at this point, we can just cut straight to the car talk for back and rear delts. Nothing else to discuss. Let's get ready to go hit.
Okay, was war gerade schon mit dem Essen jetzt
We
fertig?
just cut straight to the car talk for back and rear delts. Nothing else to discuss.
Also mit dem Auto sieht das schon.
Let's get ready to go hit back and rear delts. So, basic plan for back. Honestly, just a bunch of rows, pull downs, and pullovers. What else really is there, if we're being honest? I definitely don't want to do anything like without my chest supported. I wouldn't want to be doing bent over barbell rows right now because I'm still feeling my glutes from the last leg day.
Machen wir folgendes hier.
And then,
Mal auf. Automatisch übersetzen. So. So, also.
over the course of the next couple hours. And then, at this point, we can just cut rear delts. So, basic plan for back. Honestly, just a bunch of rows, pull downs, and pullovers. What else really is there, if we're being honest?
Das bestimmt mal wieder aus.
I definitely don't want to do anything like without my chest supported. I wouldn't want to be doing bent over barbell rows right now because I'm still feeling my glutes from the last leg day. And that was 2 days ago. So back first, and then we'll finish with rear delts.
Alles klar.
I don't know. I don't really think I would get much out of doing rear delts first. For the most part, I think I want to train my, let's just say, the muscle that I'm biasing, or the muscle I want to grow more first. Like if I were to do chest and tries, I want to do chest first and then tries. It gets a little bit weird because with legs I do it backwards. I'll do hamstrings first and then quads. But that kind of serves a different purpose because when I do hamstrings first, they get a lot of blood flow in my knees. I just kind of feel better when I move on to, leg extensions and presses and whatnot. But really nothing too tricky with back. I don't mess with any like low back focus days or like upper back focus days. I just kind of hit the whole thing. Sometimes I'll have like a back day where it's mainly pull downs, like mainly lat focused, and then other days I'll have one where it's a little bit more row biased.
Warte mal kurz.
Sometimes I'll have like a back day where it's mainly pull downs, like mainly lat focused, and then other days I'll have one where it's a little bit more row biased. I think just an even spread of both is probably fine. You don't have to do a dedicated day for each. Because at the end of your, let's say you do a normal, you hit everything twice a week style split. If you do an upper back focus day and then a lower back focus day, you'll end up doing the same amount of work as the guy who did a just kind of whole back focus day twice. So probably nothing to really read into there. And the only other thing in terms of my back training that's a little bit controversial is, I never deadlift. The most I've ever deadlifted.
Also die ganzen Kreuzheben, stimmt.
You'll end up doing the same amount of work in terms of my back training that's a little bit controversial is, I never deadlift. The most I've ever deadlifted for a complete rep was 405 in high school. Because what happened was the next week, this was so early in my training that a back day was just like maxing out my deadlifts. How far we've come. But
How far we come, bro.
I had 405, and then the next week I went for 455. And I got it to my shins, but I couldn't finish the rep, and then I just never deadlifted again. So I didn't get hurt or anything. I was just like, this is stupid, whatever. And honestly, I still kind of have the same mentality about it. I can kind of justify a little bit better now, like I'm about to. It's when you're doing deadlifts, you're working your glutes, your lower back a ton, your erectors, your hamstrings are coming into play like crazy. Now, sure, you'll get you'll get some lat and some upper back, some trap development. I'm not going to say you won't. People with big backs have been built, or people have built big backs by deadlifting.
Also Leute mit großem Rücken gebaut haben. Also.
People have built big backs by deadlifting. It's undeniable. But in a bodybuilding context, I want to just hit my lats with, as much energy as I can muster. So I'd rather not waste a ton of energy and get super gassed after, let's say, even just 2 sets of heavy deadlifts. Because sure, I'll stimulate my lats, but I will, oh my god. I'll also waste a ton of energy hitting my glutes and my hamstrings, which I don't want to do. I'm not doing posterior chain day. I'm going to the gym to do a back day, so I only want to hit back. Right? That's why I'm using straps too, so I don't have my forearms and biceps come into play, at least not too much, when I'm doing my pull downs or rows. Because again, I want to just focus on my back.
Also der Fokus ist von alle, die kein Englisch können, der Fokus ist auf dem Rücken.
Lats, traps, rhomboids, all sorts of shit in between. So the only other thing I could kind of say is a tip is if you're not using lifting straps, I would highly advise it. I know that you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, well, I want to build my forearms. If you want to build your forearms, you should hit your forearms directly. Right? Don't compromise your back training and your forearm training just because you want to multitask.
Also, man könnte zwar, also wenn man gerade bei Multitasking sein, also Multitasking, was genau das bedeutet, Multitasking, der Begriff Multitasking bezeichnet die Fähigkeit eines Betriebssystems, mehrere Aufgaben nebenläufig auszuführen. Ach so. Danke von Wikipedia. Dankeschön.
Your back training and your forearm training just because you want to multitask. That's just my feeling on the matter, at least. So I'm fucking still yawning. I gotta slam the pre. 2 scoops of bloodshot and a scoop of hostility. Fuck. I forgot to take my beta-alanine. I've been adding beta-alanine in to the pre, and it doesn't have, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like immediate effects. You kind of build up, it's like creatine. You kind of build up a level of satiation of it, and then it kind of takes effect. So I'm in the loading phase of the beta alanine this month. But I can just take it when I get back and it'll still do its thing. So enough chit chat, let's just get started.
Alles klar. Ab ins Fitnessstudio.
Anyone who knows anything about photography, I'm sure they'd be a little perplexed. Got some nice warm natural light coming in from the side and then some cool ass fluorescence above me. But whatever. That's totally unrelated to what we're doing here. So don't feel like you're limited by the stack. You know, this fucking cable is strong enough to handle a couple of extra plates slapped on the side. Now, I'm not completely insane. I'm only going to do a 45 and a 25. But as an opener, this will be a solid amount of weight. And I'm not particularly concerned with like getting a perfect contraction. I mean, what I'm really thinking about right now is, you know, do the reps with good range of motion, at least for the beginning when I'm strong, but really just load up my lats with as much tension as they can handle. I'm not going to do this same weight again. For the next set, I'll probably take the 25 off. Maybe I'll take the 45 off.
Also, an alle, die nicht wissen, was ist ein 45 ist oder ein 45, oder was ist 25? Das mal gucken. 25. Also was meint man dann bei 40 bis 45, was mit 25, was meint ihr? Habt ihr da irgendwelche Ideen dazu? Ihr könnt ja gerne mal reinschreiben, wenn ihr, das könnt ihr auch gerne mal reinschreiben. Was bedeutet 45 und was bedeutet 25? Was bedeutet das für euch? Schreibt es doch mal gerne rein. Jetzt machen wir weiter mit dem.
And I'm not particularly concerned with like getting a perfect contraction. I mean, what I'm really thinking about right now is, you know, do the reps with good range of motion, at least for the beginning when I'm strong, but really just load up my lats with as much tension as they can handle. I'm not going to do this same weight again. For the next set, I'll probably take the 25 off. Maybe I'll take the 45 off. Right? I'm
Also, 45,
sufficiently
das also abnehmen.
warm.
Ne?
I want to start heavy and work my way down as I get weaker. If you follow my logic.
Boah, also das mit diesem, das mit diesem, finde ich krass mit so einem, das finde ich halt richtig krass, wie man das macht.
Okay.
So, jetzt nochmal eine andere Perspektive hier davon. Von einem, oh Gott. Ah,
All right.
also, das ist ja schon krass, was man da so macht.
Let's just do one more. No extra play to the side.
Also, das ist auf jeden Fall mal krass. Also man merkt hier, man sieht auf jeden Fall die Atmer sind da, wenn man da so Muskeln hat bei den Armen, wenn man das hier sieht. Das ist schon krass.
Okay.
Okay.
So just as a little bit of a clarification, I don't mind getting to the point where I'm doing partials where I'm barely even fucking moving the handle. Because the only thing that's powering that little bit of movement is some scapular retraction with my lats. And it's a fucking pull down. What else am I trying to hit? So let's move on to a rowing machine. Contrarily executed.
Das nächste Ding hier.
It's a fucking pull down. What else am I trying to hit? So let's move on to a rowing machine. Contrarily executed.
Das ist so ein Rudergerät.
Compared to those pull downs. These reps I'm gonna do a lot more slow, controlled, really focused on hold and squeeze. And not only just because I want to do different kinds of sets, like I like the, throw the weight around style. And, I like doing some slow squeeze burning style too. But sometimes the machine itself just kind of feels better to do in a specific way. Like preacher curls, I want to do a bit slower, controlled, just sort of because. But dumbbell curls, I don't mind kind of ripping the weight up, especially when I'm strong in the beginning. So for whatever reason,
So,
I
what?
want to do a bit slower, controlled, just sort of because. But dumbbell curls, I don't mind kind of ripping the weight up, especially when I'm strong in the beginning. So for whatever reason, for whatever set of circumstances, with this row, I'm trying to just go a little bit slower, get a real good hold and squeeze. Almost feel like I'm trying to pull my elbows and have them touch each other behind my back.
So gut.
And at least 1 or 2 sets of these will be perfect.
Okay, jetzt auf so ein Rudergerät. Jetzt bin ich mal gespannt.
Okay.
Okay. Noch eine andere Perspektive vom Rudergerät.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do something else. I'm not sure. So I'm not one for overcomplicating this stuff too much.
Also ein Rudergerät ist auf jeden Fall schon ein richtig krasses Gerät. Rudergerät. Also solche Geräte kosten auf jeden Fall 999 Euro für ein Fensterrudergerät. 599. Oder auch hier. Boah. So viel kostet das. Alter. So. Ja, also da muss man auf jeden Fall schon mal richtig krass was drauf haben, ne?
Let's do something else. I'm not sure. So I'm not one for overcomplicating this stuff too much. But for some exercises, I will go out of my way to kind of assemble a movement. So basic plan here is kind of some, I'd say reasonably upright rows. Because let's think about this, a normal row. So basic plan here is kind of some, I'd say reasonably up. But for some exercises, I will go out. But for some exercises,
Ach, Exercise heißt Übung, oder?
I will go out of my way to kind of assemble a movement. So basic plan here is kind of some, I'd say reasonably upright rows. Because let's think about this, a normal row or a normal row style, right? You're pulling straight away from your body. Like if this is your spine, you're pulling this way. But with this setup, I'm pulling a little bit more like upwards. So this is real upper back, trap, rhomboids, teres major, bias, whatever you want to say. Like kind of this stuff on top, you know. I don't really, I mean, for me, just specifically, my traps are kind of developed enough. Like I don't need much more thickness up here. I kind of want more mid-back thickness. So I'm not going to do straight up shrugs.
So, also, also Möglichkeit, Drücken machen.
Traps are kind of developed enough. Like I don't need much more thickness up here. I kind of want more mid-back thickness.
Right?
So I'm not going to do straight up shrugs, but kind of an upper back biased row. I love it. And then one thing that's kind of cool, since these two handles are like, well, each hand's individually loaded, not only am I pulling, you know, towards my, I guess, center of mass in this direction, right? Since the handles kind of converge, my back also kind of has like a little bit of this motion. Like I'm pulling towards myself, but also my hands are coming closer inwards. So I just feel like it's kind of giving me a better squeeze at the top. But I'd say worth trying, potentially. Actually, no, definitely worth trying. Any movement is worth trying. Now, worth implementing into your routine, you got to see if it feels good for you.
Was.
Potentially. Actually, no, definitely worth trying. Any movement is worth trying. Now, worth implementing into your routine, you got to see if it feels good for you.
Also, für sowas.
Okay.
Also das hier sind so die, für die Ausgaben diese Übungen.
And then this movement kind of, for me, it asks to be done slowly with a solid squeeze. Let's do one more.
Jetzt nochmal eins davon.
Okay.
So, was wird jetzt noch kommen?
Let's do one set of something lat bias, maybe pull downs, maybe pull overs. I'm not sure yet. Then we can check the pump. Okay, so final set, reasonably light pull downs. Instead of the stack plus a 45 and a 25, I'll just do 200.
Okay, Pull-Downs. Für alle, die jetzt nicht wissen, was genau ist denn jetzt ein Pull-Down oder was auch immer. Pull-Down. Studie, was genau für Liste der effektivsten Rückenübungen im AD-Portfolio. Da haben wir da was. Kann ich ja zustimmen. So. Liste der effektivsten Rückenübungen im Fitnessstudio. Bla 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 bla. Ja. Arten von Übungen für Fitnessstudio für den Rücken. Amplitudenübung, Dickenübung. Eine effektive Routine wäre beispielsweise eine allgemeine Muskelaufbauübung wie Kreuzheben, 2 Breitenübungen, Klimmzüge und Langhantelrudern und 2 Dickenübungen. Konventionelles Kreuzheben. Ungefähr so. Also beginnen Sie mit der Kniebeuge, wie man die Hantelstange greift, Kreuzheben. Das Gewicht kehrt zurück, Rückenklimmzüge im Fitnessstudio. Dann machen Sie Kniebeuge, bla 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 bla. Klimmzüge mit neutralem Griff, also hier sieht man es doch da, den Müll. Chin-Up-Klimmzüge, hinter dem Nacken, Gummiband-Klimmzüge, an der Stelle der Klimmzugmaschine. Gut, ab bis 10 Wiederholung, sehr gut 15, abgesetzt 20 pro plus 20. Ja. Entleerrudern. Dazu mit dem Griff. Sehen wir zum ersten Griff. Ne? Gerät im Sitzen, also so. Hallo, was ist denn das hier? Immer mit Gerät. So, dann kommen wir erstmal weiter. Wieder an den Pfotlanos.
Slow and controlled. Burn out and get a couple partials at the end, and then we can check out the pump.
Zuerst geht's los mit dem Pfotlaun. Komm mal da in den Arm.
I kind of feel like a chump on my last set sometimes, because, I mean, some movements, it's just kind of easy for me to burn it out. Like, I think it's just because I'm an ego lifter at heart.
Okay.
Because, I mean, some movements, it's just kind of easy for me to burn it out. Like, I think it's just because I'm an ego lifter at heart.
Alles klar.
But I feel better doing a set where I'm just manhandling like an insane amount of weight to failure, rather than just a lightweight burning to failure. I mean, as long as I go hard on both, I know I'm doing something right, but that's just a little deep dive into my subconscious. Let's go check this shit out.
Okay.
All right. This is probably as good of lighting as I'm going to find at this gym, so let's see what we're working with. That's my fucking... I gotta say something else. I keep saying just, let's see what we're working with under the hood. Under the whatever. Let's see how this pump is looking. Let's see how inflated the lats are. How thick the valley of my mid-back is. I could go on for hours. Might have to lose the tank. We'll see. We'll see. Typically for chest and back pumps, I'll take the tank off, just go totally shirtless, because, I mean, a cutoff is perfect for arms and shoulders.
Schau dir den Arm an, also da seht ihr, die Arme sehen auf jeden Fall schon richtig aus.
If you really want to see your chest bump, I'm covering up 90% of my chest, and I'm covering up fucking at least 60% of my back. I want to take a look at that stuff. Let's just get a lat spread in first, and then we can reveal further. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, let's get this thing off. I don't even know why I wore it if I knew I was going to take it off before rear delts. Must just be some kind of habit. I guess if I wear it now, then my real shirt won't be so wet for the drive home.
Boah. Also man merkt auf jeden Fall, in dem Zusammenhang, in dem Zusammenhang merkt man auf jeden Fall, dass wir da sehr krassen Schatten haben. Das ist auf jeden Fall schon. Das ist sogar eine Doku von der so ist gerade. Aber das ist halt Bodybuilding. Also man merkt es ja sehr krass.
I knew I was going to take it off before rear deck. So wet for the drive home.
Boah, mal gucken, der Rücken sieht ja schon ganz so aus. Boah, ja, schau euch das an. So gewählt. Das hier jetzt auch. Ne?
Okay. That's pretty much all there is to back in terms of poses. So, 8 hard sets, and that's the pump we got from it. I feel pretty satisfied. So now all I got to do is go spam 8 sets of rear delts. All right, so I changed up my normal laying face pull setup just a touch. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory, but I don't love doing face pulls like standing. If I were to just stand here like this and do them, I feel like my body would be rocking back and forth. I'd have to like flex my abs to stabilize, and then I'm like, it's not cool at all, right? I want to form a stable structure so I can just flex my rear delts, hold this thing towards my eyes, and burn out. It's not cool at all, right? I want to form a stable structure so I can just flex my rear delts, hold this thing towards my eyes, and
Also das geht ja nicht der dann rausgehen jetzt gerade.
burn out. Let's just get 4 sets here.
Da kommt jetzt ein Pullover oder was?
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll do the last 2 my normal way. All right.
Also kannst du jetzt nochmal Pullover.
Okay.
Also auf jeden Fall für die Muskel oder was? Ganz gut.
Let's do some reverse pec deck. 4 sets of reverse pec deck. Moderate weight, and this time I'm not even kidding. Like actually a weight I can control. Just gonna go slow, squeeze, burn out. I'm not. Rear delts are not a muscle for me where I have even a little bit of an inkling of a desire to like destroy them with as much weight as possible. For me, my shoulders just tend to get enough development just from, burnout sets, basically. Like, I'm not trying to do side laterals with the hundreds, but if that's what you got to do to grow, that's what you got to do. You got to figure the shit out for yourself. But 4 sets here, and then we can check the pump and side laterals with the hundreds.
Das sind 100.
But if that's what you got to do to grow, that's what you got to do. You got to figure the shit out for yourself. But 4 sets here, and then we can check the pump and cut to the car and then the next meal. I almost forgot this was a full day of eating too.
Ach, das ist Gewicht heben oder was? Aber nee. Ich habe jetzt noch so aus. Ich war auch noch nicht mal da. Wer ist auch so sportlich und geht manchmal ins Fitnessstudio? Ich möchte das mal von euch auch mal wissen. Geht einfach von euch ins Fitnessstudio. Schreibt das doch mal rein. Hallo, ich nutze das nicht.
With the hundreds. But if that's what I almost forgot this was a full day of eating too.
Jetzt kommt nochmal so eine Übung.
Okay. A little heavier.
Guck mal da. Also man muss einfach schon mal dafür üben, oder? Also ich bin einfach selber viel zu selten dafür.
Okay. Let's go check this pump out and get in the car. I've never gone right here before. The lighting is actually, it looks decent. Whatever. It's just for adults. I mean, obviously I'm hitting them as though I want to grow them. Same with any muscle. But to an extent, in today's lift, I'd say rear delts is more so of an accessory and back was the primary focus. But that's just because for me, shoulders they're advanced relative to everything else. I'm just trying to maintain them.
Nimm mal die ganzen Muskeln. Ey.
So
Guck mal den Arm hier an. Diese... Wow. Sieht aber voll krass
the hair
aus.
will be cut eventually. I know. Who cares, man? This is not a hairstyling YouTube channel. Right? We're here for bodybuilding, weight training. Right?
Das ist Bodybuilding. Genau.
This is not a hairstyling YouTube channel. Right? We're here for bodybuilding, weight training. Right? Anything else is second to that fact. Oh yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. See, the rear delt is fucking poking over the tricep. Dude, that's actually fucking sick. All right, let's try the other side. See if it's the same deal. Ooh. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm going for. The lighting makes it a little hard to see, but I want this upper part to be extra round, right? Everybody's got a big front delt that's kind of poking over the side up here, but to have a real cool round looking shoulder,
Meine Arme sieht da voll krank aus.
you need the back to be just as developed. If not not overdeveloped. You don't want anything overdeveloped, but you get what I'm saying. So let's get a rear lat spread, double vine. Get out of here.
Ah. Krank. Okay, das sieht auch krank aus.
Okay. All right. Let's get in the freaking car. Oof. All right, there we go.
So, sind wir wieder im Auto.
Camera's freaking bugging on me for a second. So back and rear delts complete. I can still kind of feel my calves, so I'm not going to hit them. But whenever they're not sore, I feel like your calves deserve just a touch. Just a little itty bitty touch of stimulation, you know. Nothing crazy either. I'm not saying you got to sit here and like absolutely obliterate them. But, I mean, I just know for a fact that you probably aren't hitting calves as much as you should. And I'm inclined to believe that that statement holds true for the non-silent majority. I know a lot of you guys love talking about how you skip calves. Calves are genetic, man. That may be. Non-silent majority.
Okay.
I know a lot of you guys love talking about how you skip calves. Calves are genetic, man. That may be. But are you just gonna say screw it and not even try? Come on, man. That is freaking foolish behavior. Absolutely foolish.
Vor allem, wie soll man denn sagen? Jetzt zeigt mir ein Fitnesscenter an hier. Ihr zeigt es mir jetzt ein Fitnesscenter hier an, wenn ich eine übersuche, was ein ist hier. Verfüllt, das ist ein Fitnesscenter. Jetzt sagt es mir jetzt gerade hier.
Majority. I know a lot of you guys love talking about how you skip calves. Oh, calves are genetic, man.
Calves are genetic.
That may be. But are you just gonna say screw it and not even try? Come on, man, that is freaking foolish behavior. Absolutely foolish. So, I'm fucking starving right now. I stayed in the gym way too long just yapping it up. I'm still only at... Wait for this stupid simple macro tracker to load. 1,300 calories left, so 840. That means I've got
Yep.
1,140 calories left to play with for the night. So, that's all good with me, man. That's perfect. You know, I want to go to bed full. I'd rather have more of my food closer to the end of the day than in the beginning. Because you're just asking for trouble if you get to like 6 o'clock and you only have 500 calories left for the night. I mean, I can almost guarantee the uninitiated lifter is just going to be like, screw it. And just start munching on some kind of treat. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying I don't do that sometimes.
Worum geht es hier?
1,140 calories left to play with for the night. So, that's all good with me, man. That's perfect. You know, I want to go to bed full. I'd rather have more of my food closer to the end of the day than in the beginning.
Das ist auch genau das, was man auch so sagen möchte.
Because you're just asking for trouble if you get to like 6 o'clock and you only have 500 calories left for the night. I mean, I can almost guarantee the uninitiated lifter is just going to be like, screw it. And just start munching on some kind of treat. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying I don't do that sometimes. You know, I've never done a cut where there was anything really riding on it apart from just, you know, getting leaner. So it's not like a little bit of cheating is going to destroy you. But in order to actually lose body fat, you have to be on a week-to-week basis on average in a calorie deficit.
Also genau das ist es auch. Man sollte also Woche für Woche ein Kaloriendefizit haben.
This is some of the intro workout drink with some Silo 9. The hostile amino electrolyte mix. There's a special little code in the bottom. They're doing a little deal on them. So per week, right? So let's say your your maintenance calories is 2,500. You know, you plug it into that online tracker. You find that value by plugging in. Like, you go online, you look up maintenance calorie calculator.
Es kommt ein bisschen Werbung in eigener Sache.
You plug in your height, your weight, your energy level, which is basically like how often are you exercising, your age, your gender, everything like that, and it'll pump out a number. Now, that number isn't going to be, 100% accurate, but it can be a pretty good ballpark. The best method for finding your actual maintenance calories is tracking everything you eat, just, eating when you're hungry. Like, actually weighing out all the food that you eat when you're hungry for it, right? Weighing yourself every morning, and let's say you stay the same weight for a whole week, right? The average of how many calories you ate that week as well, that's basically your maintenance calorie calculator. Well, that's basically your maintenance calories calculated.
Also es geht darum, wenn man halt also habt ihr es genau verstanden? Also jeder hat hier die Haltungskalorien, die dann so ausgerechnet werden. Das wird dann von so einer App dann ausgerechnet. Jeder. Es werden dann die ganzen Werte dann ausgerechnet. Und das ist auch eine Sache, die wir auch so jeder. Ja. So werden dann die Haltungskalorien dann ausgerechnet.
out all the food that you eat when you're hungry for it, right? Weighing yourself every morning, and let's say you stay the same
Also wenn man eine ganze Woche lang denselben Gewicht hat.
for a whole week, right? The average of how many calories you ate that
Es geht um den Durchschnitt der
week
Kalorien.
as well. That's basically your maintenance calorie calculator. Well, that's basically your maintenance calories calculated. So the basic premise of weight loss is like it's just thermodynamics. So a pound of fat, I'm pretty sure, is about 3,000 ish calories. So if you wanted to lose a pound of fat per week, that would mean that in that 1 week, you have to eat 3,000 calories less than your maintenance calories for the week. So
Das ist genau das. Wenn man also abnehmen möchte, dann sollte man etwas weniger von den Kalorien essen, als dass man zu sich nimmt.
you have to eat 3,000 calories less than your maintenance calories for the week. So that would be about a 400 calorie deficit.
400 Kalorien Defizit.
Now,
Okay.
my weight's kind of been plateauing. I think I'm overeating just a touch because I've really been doing about 20. Where is it? Oh, here we go. I don't know what I'm doing right now. They're like closing down part of the road. No, I've really been doing more like 2,800 calories. So a little bit closer to my actual maintenance than
Also gab's da Straßensperre.
for eating. No, I've really been doing more like about 20. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Achtung, das ist eine Straßensperre, scheinbar.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. They're like closing down part of the road. No, I've really been doing more like 2,800 calories. So a little bit closer to my actual maintenance than I guess I would want to be at. You know, I should be getting a little bit lighter by way of actually hitting that 2,500 calorie level. So or whatever. So in that whole week, if you want to lose body fat, you have to eat 3,000 calories below your maintenance. And if you have a whole week of good days, you know, fucking, you hit your 2,100 calories every day, but then that last day, you have 7,000 calories as like a rebound, then it completely counteracts your whole week before, and you are just boned. You just boned yourself. Now, it's not going to say that you're not going to be able to get back on track.
Was heißt nochmal und ingraded. Also man würde sich dadurch dann mehr so an und
boned,
also ohne
boned,
was gab's sowas? Ja, just sich selbst geknocht. Okay.
Sich selbst geknocht.
Geknocht, okay, das bedeutet das also.
Boned yourself.
Alles klar. Nochmal eine ganz kurze Info an dieser Stelle. Also, wenn man also sagt, man hätte sich dann so selber geknocht dadurch,
Sich selbst geknocht. Boned yourself.
das würde man sagen, also wenn man sich dann selber geknockt hat, bedeutet das also, nochmal eine ganze
Fucking, you hit your 2,100 calories every day, but then that last day, now it's not going to say that you're not going to be able to get back on track, but if you consistently eat above your maintenance calories, then there's no chance that the scale is going to move or your body fat percentage is going to go down. If you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Das ist genau,
there's no chance that the scale is going to move or
Also wenn man halt so eine Waage hat,
your body
also die Waage bewegt,
fat percentage
dann gibt es keine Chance, dass die Waage sich dann bewegt oder der Körperfettanteil so halt sinken würde.
is going to go down. If you can understand what I'm trying to say. I'm totally screwed. This what is going on here right now? There's like a road closure. I'm trying to navigate around it. But is it up? Where the fuck am I right now? Damn. What was I saying? Yeah. But is it up? Where the fuck am I right now? Damn. What was I saying? Yeah, so if you want to lose body fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit for a sustained period of time. No cheating. None of this bull crap, eating treats and not tracking it into your stupid simple macro tracker. You know, even just like if you raid the pantry a little bit, you grab a little handful of chips and you don't track it. If you do that 10 times in a day, which is not hard to do, then guess what, man? You can overshoot your calorie deficit easily.
Aber
Right? So you have to be kind of OCD about this shit if you actually want to, make progress.
es ist nicht ein Fortschritt, es ist irgendwie ein Fortschritt.
I find it very, not amusing, but interesting how little information people actually kind of have in their brain about how to, lose body fat. Like, if you've ever seen like news debates where it's, a reporter or whatever, and they're doing an interview with someone, and they're going on about how, exercise and calories do not determine the amount of body fat that someone gains or loses. It's not even a question,
Also sind auf jeden Fall solche Debatten sind auf jeden Fall krass in Amerika.
And I'll tell you this before I cut to Kroger, because I do need to get a little bit of food. Once you actually get into tracking your macros and all this stuff, right? Once you start tracking it and you actually can see that, the amount and the types of foods that you eat will have a direct correlation with, what your body is composed of in terms of fats, in terms of gaining protein, muscle. Once you take the red pill, there's no going back. You're locked in. No one that I have ever talked to, and I may be biased because I probably only talk to lifters, but whatever. No one that I have ever talked to has started counting their macros,
Da hat noch keiner angefangen, die Makros zu zählen.
done it for a consistent period of time, and then said, this is stupid. This is dumb. I don't want to do this anymore. That has never freaking happened in my experience. So, I don't want to worry about what I eat. I just want to go to the gym. Maybe I'll have a protein shake every so often. That's the blue pill, man. You're staying in the matrix,
Blaue Pille seid in der Matrix. Ja, blaue Pille seid Matrix.
I just want you to think about that, right? You're Neo, and I'm Morpheus. I'm just presenting you the opportunity to take a serious look into the real world. All right, enough of these Matrix references. Let's cut to Kroger
Diese Matrix-Referenzen.
and see what I'm gonna eat for the next meal. All right, minor pit stop before Kroger.
Kleiner Boxenstopp bei Subway.
All right, yeah, there we go. So I actually kind of overestimated the amount of stuff that I need. All I'm really getting is a couple of drinks.
In so einem Einkaufsladen.
So I do love just kind of having a bunch of Sprite Zero in the fridge, purely due to the sake that I want to, drink like a sweet treat. But and a little bit more of a food that has calories. I guess it's kind of stupid to even call it food, but I ran out of my little Carb Master chocolate milk, so I need some of that too. So that should be just about over here. I was kind of when when I went into the subway, there's two guys working, kind of a younger dude, and then sort of an older, grumpier looking guy. So the younger dude, he's the one who put the meat on my sandwich, and of course, you know, when I told him like I want some turkey and ham, I was like, all right, give me like a lot. And when the older guy sort of looked over his work, he was pissed because he gave me too much. I would like to think that maybe
Ältere Leute denken aber, dass es zu viel wäre. Na, als ob.
the little bit of meat poking out of the sleeves biased him to give me a little bit extra. I'm sure the same thing happens at Chipotle. If you look like you just came from the gym, I'm inclined to believe that if the guy making your food is cool, he might give you a little extra something something.
Stimmt, Chipotle sind aber auch richtig krass. Also, Chipotle ist halt dieser mexikanische Grill. Der Chipotle Mexican Grill ist eine US-amerikanische Schnellrestaurantkette, die mexikanisches Essen wie Burritos oder Tacos verkauft. Okay. Okay, das ist also Chipotle. Ja. Moment mal. Da bin ich wieder. Gerade wurde was von Chipotle gesagt.
The little bit of meat poking out of the sleeves biased him to give me a little bit extra. I'm sure the same thing happens at Chipotle. If you look like you just came from the gym, I'm inclined to believe that if the guy making your food is cool, he might give you a little extra something something. So let's cut over to, I guess, the fucking Sprite.
Okay, aber gibt's noch Sprite?
No need to make this one shot. I'll just jump between anything else I get. There we go. Now we're pulling into the soda aisle. I mean, there's nothing special about any of these diet sodas. I mean, they're all just, you know, sweetened with aspartame. I'm more inclined to believe that aspartame isn't doing so much damage to my insides as like.
Also die ganzen Limonaden sehen aber auch ganz krass aus.
I mean, there's nothing special about any of these diet sodas. I mean, they're all just, you know, sweetened with aspartame. I'm more inclined to believe that aspartame isn't doing so much damage to my insides as like, you know, something like sucralose. But I'm not going to say it's healthy for you. But in a dieting context, I haven't noticed any problems. So.
Also.
Couple of 2 liters of a variety of flavors. Should hold me over for the next couple of days.
Sprite.
Oh, I know. I need some more ground beef. All right, let's cut over to the deli section. Or the butchery.
So, Metzgerei, was haben wir denn da?
All right, so this is really hardly even a grocery haul. More like just a grocery top-off. Because I've got everything that I really want. All my low-carb keto bread. I got some keto tortillas, too. Those are pretty good. Can't go wrong with a little bit of Old Bay. So yeah, all I really need to do is make sure I got some solid-ass protein sources.
Alles klar.
So, when it comes to the ground beef, in a bulking context...
Also ich habe immer gemischtes Hackfleisch genommen. Also Rinder oder Schwein, was nehmt ihr dann?
When it comes to the ground beef, in a bulking context, you know, I don't mind 80-20, but I've got no need for excess fats right now. So I'll always try to find the leanest kind of ground beef I can get my hands on. 2 pounds and 96%. Perfect. So that's.
Aber da gerade. Was heißt nochmal Sale? Ach, Ausverkauf. Stimmt. Und Übersetzung. Ausverkauf. Verkauf, Ausverkauf. Absatz, Schlussverkauf, Veräußerung, Verschleiß, Abverkauf. Ach so. Da war gerade Rabatt, Ausverkauf oder sowas. Da war aber gerade Ausverkauf.
No need for excess fats right now. So I'll always try to find the leanest kind of ground beef I can get. Perfect. So that's all I need here. Let's just cut to the kitchen for the Subway post-workout meal.
So, dann ab in die Küche.
So, didn't really have to get... Well, actually, I guess that is more of a normal grocery trip. You don't go to the grocery store and get everything that you eat. You just kind of replenish the things that you need. So I've already entered this 2 cups of the Carb Master non-fat chocolate milk into the stupid simple macro tracker. And this little shaker cup has a nice little denomination to tell me when I hit 16 ounces, exactly 2 servings. So that's another 22 grams of protein. The other dairy products, denomination to tell me when I hit
Schokoladenmilch.
16 ounces, exactly 2 servings. So that's another 22 grams of protein. And protein from milk, that's up there with beef, eggs, chickens, other dairy products, whatever. It's up there, right? When I think of a dedicated protein source, I guess I'll just relist it again, right? Red meats, poultry, dairy, eggs, animal products in general are where it's at. So the vegan lifter may need to get his priorities straight. But this plus the sandwich puts me at about
Gucken wir uns das Sandwich aus.
21.73. Now there was a little bit of estimation because it's not like the Subway guy added the exact same amount of like this and everything else, whatever. But the carbs from the vegetables on the sandwich, I pretty much just count as negligible. It's like maybe 3. I just don't even worry about it. But the bread, I definitely have to worry about. That's 80 grams of carbs right there. Now that's just something where, I go online and I look up how many grams of carbs are there in a foot-long Italian loaf from Subway. 2 little button clicks and then boom, the info is right there. It's not too hard to find, but it is a little bit of a hassle to have to look this kind of stuff up. But like I was saying in the car, once you get into it, it's just second nature. So this will put me at 200 grams of protein for the day so far, 61 grams of fat, a little higher than I would have aimed for, but whatever. And then 207 grams of carbs. So I've got just about 350 calories left. So I've got about half a pound of a top round steak
53 Kalorien also übrig. Okay.
in the sous vide right now, doing a little bit of a slow cook. So I'll probably come back down to the kitchen in about maybe like an hour. And then that'll be 50 grams of protein, probably about 50 grams of protein, 15 grams of fat. I'll just give it a quick sear. Take my nightly... Actually, no, what am I talking about? I take my vitamins in the morning. Shit. After that, I just get to go to bed. So let me think if anything else has been going on. Subway gets a lot of hate. I was just looking up the one in town on Google Maps, 1.5 stars. You made the sandwich.
Warum hat denn Subway überhaupt so viel Hater bekommen? Weiß das einer von euch?
That's just a fucking classic joke. I don't know, man. I like it. I'm probably just nostalgic. Because when I was a kid, my parents had us do the swim team, like summer league. So nothing like hyper competitive or anything, but you'd go out and have a whole swim meet where you just kind of hang out in the pool in your little camp, walking around. You'd go do your little events, and this would be the classic snack that we'd have is just a sandwich from Subway.
So, dann hat man schon einige was.
So apart from like the steak and rice, which you would call a kind of conventional bodybuilding meal, the rest of this is just it's just foods, right? Now I'm trying to be specific in my selection for the most part. That's why all the buns I have on top of the fridge are live carb, like low carb keto buns.
Mal. Und bekommst vom Subway so viel shit. Why does everyone seem to hate Subway? Ask Reddit. Subway ist eine US-amerikanische Fastfood-Kette, die vor allem Sandwiches, Wraps. Subway ist eine US-amerikanische Fastfood-Kette, die vor allem Sandwiches, Wraps und Salate anbietet. Einige Gründe, warum Subway so viel Kritik bekommt, sind Subway behauptet, gesundes Essen anzubieten, aber eine Studie hat gezeigt, dass ein großes Sandwich genauso ungesund ist wie ein Big Mac. Subway verlangt hohe Gebühren von seinen Franchise-Nehmern und wendet zweifelhafte Methoden an, um sie unter Druck zu setzen. Hat in der Vergangenheit mehrere Skandale erlebt, beispielsweise die Verwendung von in seinem Brot, dass es als Teppichkleber verwendet wird, oder die Festnahme des ehemaligen Sprechers wegen Oha! Ja, darüber. Klar, dass die auch so bekommen, da sollte man da schon. Deswegen. Jetzt gerade sind wir auch.
So apart from like the steak and rice, which you selection for the most part, that's why all the buns I have on top of the fridge are live carb, like low carb keto buns. That's why all the tortillas I have in there are low carb. That's why I have the I'll just grab it for demonstrative purposes. That's why I've got the powdered peanut butter, where once you reconstitute
Erdnussbutter.
it with water, or a classic move I've been doing is adding sugar-free syrup to give it a little bit of a sweeter taste. All these little, that's another thing, all the diet soda too, all these little replacements make it that much easier for me to stick to, hitting just around what my macro goals are in the day. So if I can have a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the keto bread with the powdered peanut butter with some sugar-free jelly, I kind of just get to eat. If you can kind of put in the effort, you can eat whatever you want.
Alles klar, wenn sie was ansteht, kann man einfach das essen, was man will.
Now, there's a little bit of caveats to that, because then you have to get into tracking everything. You've got to constantly be messing with the food scale. But, I like this method the most out of anything. I don't really, it doesn't really appeal to me to do like prepped meals, have a bunch of them in the fridge and like take them out every day and just eat it. Like, I don't know. I kind of want to eat, I don't know, I want to eat when I want to eat, and I want to eat what I want to eat. And then under the constraints of these macros, I'll adjust accordingly. So definitely the most intensively, well, definitely the style of dieting that requires the most effort on my end. Because I have to constantly be thinking about these things and tracking everything every day.
Kennt ihr jemand von euch, der... Gibt's irgendjemand von euch, der eine Diät hinter sich hatte?
Well, definitely the style of dieting that requires the
Oder gerade auf Diät
most
ist?
effort on my end. Because I have to constantly be thinking about these things and tracking everything every day. Or every time I eat something, plugging it into the phone. But, I mean, for me, it's the easiest. So if for you, you don't want to be messing with all these calculations, you don't want to constantly be like, oh, how much, like if you want to just prep a bunch of meals, bodybuilder style, on Sunday, have them in the fridge. You know the pictures when there's like 20 little individual Tupperware containers of measured out chicken, measured out rice. Everything's added up perfectly. You don't even have to think about it. You just do your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals, and then you go to bed. Hey, man. If that's your shit, then do it. No matter what, there's no right or wrong way, apart from a couple of constraints like you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat, and to gain weight, you have to be in a calorie surplus. But, no matter what you do outside of those two realms, whatever works for you works.
Echt?
So, figuring out some shit for yourself, and it gets you results. That's just as valid as anything. So I'm going to sit here for a little while, play on my phone. Once I finish this, I'll go fold my laundry, and then we can come back for the steak, and this day will be complete.
Steak ist auch noch.
Final meal of the, now technically morning. It's 12:30, man. I got to wake up tomorrow. It's just about 8-ish ounces of top round steak. So 50-ish grams of protein, 15 grams of fat. A little bit of a gray band.
Was ist mit dem Steak? Sieht einfach so aus.
Must have seared it a little too long on that side. But that puts me at 2,508 calories. This is just a 0 sugar lemonade that I had floating around. Well, not floating around, but in the fridge.
Freie Limonade im Kühlschrank.
So, no macros to worry about there. Another benefit of all the 0 calorie drinks and stuff like that, you don't even have to think about it. So, do you think I like having to do my cardio every day? Do you think I like tracking all my macros, and going to the gym for 2 hours at a time? Because I do. Because I do. It kind of makes me, I feel a little bit weird when I see all the edits or all these workout posts, and they're very negative. Dudes are talking about their, I used to be, this is kind of a classic trope. It used to be maybe kind of a fatter kid, and it's now you're working out. You want to get in shape. Kind of reactively to how you were treated when you were younger. And there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever sort of motivation you have to use to get jacked, that's badass. But for the most part, I try not to dwell on anything very negative in my training. I just think it's sort of a flawed mentality, at least in terms of longevity, to, want to achieve something to get over on somebody, or you break up with somebody, whatever, you want to get jacked. Oh, then now I'll show them. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. The I'll show them mentality. I'm not saying it won't work.
Also mentality.
But
Exactly.
for the most part, if I try to think about why I'm doing all this stuff, I just like it. I just freaking like it. So maybe there's something mad deep repressed in my mind which just isn't surfacing. But just walking around being big, moving a ton of weights, all I see is positives, you know? So I'm super into it. But,
Ja,
you know, whatever you gotta do, it's not like I'm saying,
denk einfach mal drüber nach, wenn man so einen Berichte bewegt. Man kann auch nur, egal was man auch sehen, positiv oder negativ, man kann auch sehen, was man so sagt.
just walking around being big, moving a ton of weights, all I see is positives, you know? So I'm super into it. But, you know, whatever you gotta do, it's not like I'm saying you're wrong. But you gotta think, I think you're just gonna have a better time in the gym if you think about, oh, let me see if I can even phrase how I want to say this. It's like thinking about the things that you want to achieve and not the things that you want to, you know, stop per se. Like, do you want to do it just because, or do you want to do it so that people won't mess with you anymore? Or this, you get a little bit of the idea I'm talking about, you know. The more often you can just go to the gym, have a hard lift, and just be happy about it due to, you know, for its own sake, I think that you're going to have a better time overall. Right? You shouldn't really be doing anything for anybody else's approval anyway, you know? So,
Alright.
other than that quick little chat as a finisher, I'm going to keep up this level of caloric intake for probably maybe another 3-ish weeks. I think we might hit day 60. Honestly, 60 is kind of coming to mind as the number where I think, okay, that's probably about time to call it. But, you know, I'll see. I'm definitely not going to cut it before 60. But, you know, after that, we'll just get back on the bulk. I'm sure I'll give it some kind of title. I'm not going to call it spring bulk again, of course, but I do look forward to it. Because the way that I look at dieting, you know, and trimming down, I just feel like I'm putting a...
Wie viel hat er gemacht? Wie viel hat er gemacht? Falk hat, wie viel hat er gemacht? Er hat 59 gemacht, also kurz vor der 60. Kurz vor der 60. War kurz vor der 60. Wir hatten es mal kurz davor. Weiter.
Maybe not putting a pause on progress, but just, well, I mean, kind of putting a pause on progress, you know? I like getting bigger, getting stronger, right? Seeing the weight move upwards, gaining muscle tissue, right? That's my favorite part.
And then make the 60
And even if I'm a little softer and I don't have all the crazy cuts, I think I definitely prefer bulking to cutting. But I like them both. So it's maybe 60% bulking, 40% cutting, right? You got to take each with the other one, each with the other. You got to take one with the other if your deal is the bulking and cutting method, not just main gaining, hitting your protein and eating as much food as you're hungry for. If you do that and combine that with hard weight training, you are going to grow muscle slowly over time for sure. It's just not the method that I'm really into currently.
Also, man möchte halt Muskeln aufbauen. Möchte man so Muskeln aufbauen? Vielleicht, ja.
So, getting into a couple of interesting points here. I'm definitely feeling ready for bed. Tomorrow is going to be morning cardio. I'll set the alarm for like probably 7:30 or so. I've been waking up before my alarm though. That's kind of cool. I guess
Vor dem Alarm aufwachen.
that's better than the alternative, waking up after it. But then I got one class. I get to just come home and chill for a while before going to the gym later and hitting arms. So I don't know which gym I'll go to. I kind of like having a circulation, but no matter what gym I go to, our pump is going to be freaky. So, cut will come to an end, and the bulk will begin again. So, only bigger and better things to come. I'm out. I'll see you next time.
Ja, gutes Video. Ja, man lernt schon einige Sachen. Also man weiß, beide Bilder sind auf jeden Fall krass. Also schaut auf jeden Fall nochmal bei vorbei. Das wurde von meinen Zuschauern gefragt. Ich habe so viele Nachrichten und Kommentare auf Instagram bekommen. Ja, also fragt wie, hey, du wolltest darauf reagieren, wenn das jetzt wieder geht, du wolltest das doch so machen. Und jetzt möchte ich noch zu den Kommentaren dazu eingehen, die ich bekommen habe. Ich habe so viele Kommentare von euch auf Instagram bekommen. Ich habe dazu so viele Kommentare bekommen. Schaut auf jeden Fall mal vorbei, supportet den wohl. Und ja, wir sind halt.